Crownie's not putting in the DPS just yet. They will have vision of this. Harp going to look to try and maybe engage on top of this one here. They're going to get a nice little bit of vision. 3-man knock-up as well is huge, but Labrov puts himself between everybody and the creeping CC. They're going to be able to take down Harp. Crownie has to go straight away into the feathers flying.
FLICKR fight, okay, FLICKR fight. Coming around. I have a good flank on them. They use TP.
Good marker. Good marker.
I'm keeping okay, we can finish attack on my aim.
Just fight, I think.
Now New comes in from the flank. They jump onto Yutapon. apaMEN just kind of trying to stand forward, and it's doing work on the front lines.
Okay, flash.
Welcome back to Worlds 2023 at the Analyst Desk. Ender, Mark, myself, QuickShot, going to break down what was a very one-sided game. And I'm going to be honest about it. It was a slow and steady stomp in which BDS surprised me a little bit. I was happy to see the bounce back from the squad, but I've also seen them win game one before and then not carried on through the series.
And to be fair, this was not the Adam show taking over. This actually felt very similar to the second game versus Team Wells, or at least the start of it, where it wasn't a lot of bloodshed. Adam was sort of passively winning on the top side through getting a big CS lead, just destroying the turret plates, and then they just continue to stack up the Drakes. They won the early fights around the Herald, and then it just kept snowballing for BDS.
It was one of those comps that felt like a traditional BDS comp. We were both laughing about, like, here comes the Braum, here
it is.
The Sheo,
Ivern.
Ivern. Yes. It was very, very traditional front-to-back team fighting.
That early game was so exciting. We were theorizing different Ivern skins we could be inventing. But Mark's got one.
That's about what our conversation was talking about, because the game, not much going on.
Let's focus on the Riftail fight you did talk about. And I can't remember if it was Ender or Mark. One of you mentioned that Aria just wasn't with the team in previous games. So Ender, we saw it again.
Aria's picking up a wave in mid lane here, and check this out. DFM, this was their problem in their previous series where they just send the engage. They don't have apaMEN or Aria here. It's just a 3 versus 5 at this moment. I don't know. Harp gets instantly blown up, and Aria does some decent damage, but they can't finish off any kills because two major sources of damage just aren't there initially.
It's one of those games that's honestly a little hard to talk about because BDS did nothing wrong. They got ganked one time, Crownie died, and then that was maybe the entirety of the struggle.
If he had Ezreal, he could have got away, just for the record.
Yeah, of course. But, that's about all they did wrong, and the rest of the things they did was they showed up at objectives, and they said, are you going to fight us, DFM? And DFM said, nah, probably not, bro. Yeah. And that was the game. And then, the times they did show up, like you said, they didn't even show up in a coordinated fashion, and it made it very hard to, look at some of the struggles we saw out of BDS a couple days ago and say, did they really fix these or not? And honestly, it doesn't seem like they're going to need to answer that question even to beat DFM potentially.
Yeah, I will say, too, that for the draft for BDS, while it is funny, it's like every champion sort of has the same idea, right? It's a ton of kite back, it's a ton of backline protection. So if there are ever these engages from DFM that aren't perfect, this type of comp destroys that style of gameplay. Like, if BDS just draft like that again, I don't really see what DFM, if they come in with a similar idea, how they break.
Listen, I want to ask exactly what you would like to see from DFM. Before we get to that, let's round out the last replay we have here. We got another Baron fight, and again, or Baron setup, I should say. BDS just daring.
Look where Aria is, on the blue buff, and they're going for the fight again.
apaMEN's in bot lane teleporting in as the rest of his front line is engaging.
It's over already.
Yep, you already have Steel dead by the time he comes in. Then, of course, you have this nice flank coming in from Nuke as well, just being able to jump on there. And they just never really ever felt set up. You can call these fights slaughters, walking into the meat grinder, I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, it's nice setups by BDS, absolutely. But they never really felt pushed to have to even mechanically play these fights out well. You just hit the guy in front of you.
Yeah, by that point as well, I think BDS had also have a fairly significant gold lead. We're in absolute control of the game. They had all the dragons as well. Dragon stacking paid off for him. We got one last thing to look at, and every second counts thanks to the reliable Cisco network. Team BDS get the bot lane push in time while Adam dies to set up the game-ending sequence. This is one of those sacrifice your pawn to take down the enemy king type of moves. Yeah, and what do you make?
Hey, this was like what happened with Adam in the last series, except the team was in position, ready to go, and they just run through bot lane. So yeah, he's there, 5 players Show, and I think DFM thought we're trading the inhib for this kill, and they think they're probably losing the inhib anyways, but then BDS say, actually no, we're going to end the game.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness out of BDS here to say, okay, well, if you don't stop us, we're just going to keep going forward. They end up with Crownie positioned really far forward. That's only apaMEN who realizes kind of the threat of the situation, tries to stop them, but the rest of the team was not on the same page. Now it's a 4v4 with the Baron up, and this is exactly the position you can be in to end the game.
Again, Braum, Xayah, Ivern. if you don't walk in perfectly, you're going to get destroyed. That's what happens with apaMEN forward. Also, so many cooldowns got spent trying to kill that giant, beefy Renekton that Adam was playing that the actual fight here, I think BDS made the right call in realizing that they could just sort of hold their ground. That's exactly how this comp plays, whether it's in the base here or when they're the first to set up onto an objective. If they are the ones playing it control and the other team has to run into them, they're going to win 9 out of 10 times.
And I appreciate that they took long enough that Adam could respawn and teleport in to be on the victory screen.
Yeah.
You know, good teamwork there out of BDS. They seem to be bouncing back and that on the same page. Very nice to see.
Okay, so listen, let's zoom out for a second. And I know we have had a slightly more critical, slightly more negative tone here. I want to give kudos to BDS. They played clean, they played safe, they didn't really make any mistakes. I do want to be critical of DFM, but I also just want to remind everybody, if you didn't hear us when we began the tournament, DFM have had a rough summer. They've had role swaps, they've had roster swaps. There were situations on the team that also led to disciplinary action. I mean, these things are fracturing. So despite the fact DFM won with all those troubles, we knew coming in they were going to have challenges to overcome. And we're seeing it again, right, in terms of their playstyle. Multiple games in a row. How could they win is the question I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, well, 2 days ago was the first time these 5 players played on a stage together. So what I need to see from them, I actually don't think you can solve the team fighting thing right now. I've changed my mind. It was bad the other day. It was not good in game number 1. I think they have to be able to snowball through the early
Win
game.
lane, win game.
I think top lane was okay. Like, it wasn't a disaster for them. They can leave top lane, handle it exactly how they did in this game, but they need very powerful mid jungle to be able to fight early and then a fighting bot lane. If you're not snowballing and beating BDS on the early drakes, you're losing.
You're burger flipping.
Yeah.
You get your spatulas out.
Can we get Mark back on camera? Can you show me? Can you show me the animation for burger flipping? Come on, just do it again.
You get there, you get some spatulas.
Yeah. Are you doing 2 burgers at once?
Yeah, of
Two
course.
burgers at
Double decker.
once.
Dude, you ever see any of those hot girls? You go there, in and out. They're flipping them constantly.
Sorry.
Get a hot grill.
Yeah.
You flip the
Where do I
burgers.
watch?
They're flipping
Okay,
the
well, listen,
burgers,
I think
doing
we're
all
going to
the
find
burgers.
out where he's watching this content in just a moment. I believe we're about ready to jump into picks and
Hell yeah,
bans. So over to Dagda and Ashin for hopefully some hot girl burger flipping action.
Grill.
Woo,
Hot grill.
Oh, you
What
did
do
not
you
say
guys
grill.
do? You said grill. I said grill.
They're having fun. Like, they're
I
having
think
a
they've
good
completely
time.
lost it at this stage. It's kind of like
I love the vibe of Play-In's desk right now. It's pure chaos. But, I mean, they kind of hit the nail on the head from the last game. It was BDS saying, let's go for everything, and DFM kind of saying, nah, we won't go for anything right now. And that was kind of the end of the game then.
But if Adam's just dismantling your top lane, it's like, all right, we'll leave him be. We don't have to worry about it. Then Nuke eventually gets to his
Wait,
items,
never
he's
mind.
like,
We
I
have
can
to
do
worry
all right.
about it.
Yeah. And then it's a case of, all right, cool, well, if we're just going to slowly be able to stack up dragons and play our game, well, why are we trying to overforce things? We can just play this out slow and guarantee that we end up winning. And I'd say a good amount of it came from the sheer shellacking they got after the last series, where it was like, hey, look, lads, why are we not bringing BDS's style to Worlds? Why are we playing so scared? And at least in this one, there were still some moments where I think they could have pushed it a bit harder, but it definitely wasn't the same kind of fear that we got out of them in the last game.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see. We are going to have a swap of sides as we get BDS now onto the blue with DFM onto the red. And of course, that Senna ban going to remain. It's not something BDS want to ever have to deal with. And in fairness, the way she's been going, it is definitely a safe ban to be throwing out there for most people.
I think she just opens up so many different opportunities, like the Tan Kench and that kind of stuff. It's such an insanely strong pick. But Talia going to be taken away as well. We're going to continue to see the Darius ban. Is it Orianna? And then what do we get after that from DFM? I think the problem is, unfortunately for apaMEN, is that you can't really keep Adam contained in the manner that you would like, especially since it kind of feels like apaMEN just defaults automatically to the Aatrox every time, which just means you've got so many chances to try and go for picks. Rakan was the last ban here. Will DFM keep the same stuff?
No, they go for the Rakan themselves, taking that away from Sheo, but see what BDS want to go for. I mean, the Xayah, I was going to say the Xayah feels like a no-brainer, but now the Rakan has been left open. I feel like you have to pick it on this rotation. You give over the Xayah Rakan on red side, that's just not unforgivable.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a Rakan Sejuani pick, if that's the way they want to go, like secure themselves a strong jungler, because that's the direction Sheo does tend to go. But you also have to be worried, because last game, an Ivern Jace pickup could work really well here as well. I think Rakan would be a silly pick to leave open, but they want to try and prioritize the Kai'Sa, it looks like, instead.
Get the Kai'Sa going again, the handshake between the 80 carries. Yeah, we'll see if Rackers is coming in. Medic probably knows what's going to come next, as he's knows how good the Rakan can be. I mean, look, we'll wait for it to be locked in, but now we can look towards BDS. I mean, if the Rakan isn't locked in, we imagine they go for that, and then probably just a jungle pick, get the Sejuani in for Sheo.
I'm surprised by how much discussion is going on with the DFM side, though. Okay, yeah.
Whoa!
So maybe look. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure exactly what the game plan is here, because I was like, okay, well, surely if you want to go for this, maybe you take the Ivern away, and then you could get the Tristana for yourself. Tristana getting some nerfs coming in here, which is why we've seen her be slightly less popular. But it does mean now, again, you can kind of go, hey, okay, looks like it's actually going to be Vi. I wasn't sure if you go Ivern into the chase, but you got to take the Rakan here.
Yeah.
Xayah Rakan is such an insanely strong bot lane, and for Harp, what do you try and answer with? Maybe the Nautilus is the pickup you want to go for here, but it means you've got no jungler to come
I was going to say, maybe you go for the jungler instead, just to kind of cover it and say, look, Harp, we're sorry, but you're going to have to take a couple of bans here. That's just kind of how it is. And yep, the Ivern being locked in and loaded there for steal. I mean, it does make sense when you've got those double 80 carries, but again, like we mentioned, now Harp's going to walk down the line of kind of seeing what's available to him, let alone kind of, you know, what he's going to be able to kind of prioritize.
Yeah, so I think for BDS, it is going to be a case of ban away the Nautilus, ban away these kind of things, even maybe the Alistar as well, to just make sure the Harp, because Harp had a great game in the Alistar the last one, would just make them uncomfortable in that bottom lane where it's like there's no real answer to the Rakan. And then on the opposite side, as you say, just go Olaf, get rid of any champions that might be an issue. Maybe it is the Renekton ban for DFM here, and just go, hey, look, try and get the Aatrox, get apaMEN comfortable, and then leave the potential answer if open for Harp in that last rotation.
Yeah, I feel like if you know that apaMEN's going to be playing Aatrox, there's no point in trying to hide it. You know, if that's what he plays, that's what he plays. That's just the end of the kind of story there. So we'll see what he ends up kind of going for here, as we do have the Rel being locked away. So they might go back towards the Alistar again. Does decent into something like the Rakan. You've got the Pulverize when he tries to go in aggressively with that knock-up, so you can try and just kind of punish him there. But maybe you go with something slightly different. And honestly, I quite like a Blitzcrank here. Kind of separate out the side of BDS as best you can and try and pick him off.
I'd actually would prefer the Alistar though, because when you're setting up for Xayah, Tristana, you are playing more for team fight, and I think that's where the Alistar can really thrive. You get the lockup coming through from the Ivern, and even the fact that the Ivern's Q lets you then follow up as Alistar into attack range. You can get the Q, you can get the headbutt back. You essentially do the Blitzcrank thing just as an Alistar, right? Yeah. So I think that's where you then kind of miss out on what Alistar brings to the table, but we're going to have to see if Harp can have that big impact. Jax taken for Adam in that top lane, and Nuke going back towards El Clasico for himself. This was one of the champions that we did see him perform on in playoffs. The Cassiopeia into the Tristana is definitely going to be one where the Tristana will have a good amount of push, but if you end up trying to set up these ganks, it can be very difficult for Tristana to escape.
And we'll see what they want to go for here right now, as you can get plenty of late game scaling. The Poppy getting locked in here now for apaMEN, so quite like this, to be perfectly honest. It enables or disables a lot of what you're going to be trying to do here from BDS. The Jax, the Rakan, the Vi, all going to struggle to kind of get in around that if your top lane is there. However, put a caveat on that, apaMEN never really grouped up with his team until it was way too late in the game and he was already too far behind.
It is actually like decent into the Jax though, where he can't use his leap strike on that, so even in lane it makes it very hard for the Jax to punish you, because you can slam your hammer on the ground as Poppy, get that slow, and then alleviate a lot of the damage that can come through from the Jax, and you can generally do okay in the wave clear. But as the game goes on, Jax will just completely ignore the Poppy and just take towers like it's no tomorrow. But it does mean for BDS, the Cassiopeia's in a bit of a weird spot. Cassiopeia generally likes teams that play into her, but when you're looking at DFM, it's more of a almost weird pick comp slash like get the route from the Ivern to pull a member in as a Blitzcrank and then start off the fight. So I think you're going to have Cassiopeia in a bit of a weird spot. So I think BDS were kind of reading the more traditional route, same as myself, that I thought DFM would go towards, which is the team fight dive that Tristana and Xayah can work well in. But instead they're kind of playing this weird pick style with some of the dive. So I'm curious to see how DFM's comp actually works out in the grand scheme of things.
Well, BDS 1-0 up against DFM. They win this game, they get a 2-0, they go to the next round. It's not quite the qualification match yet, but they are in double elimination matches should they win today and then obviously tomorrow. But for DFM, they do not want to leave this world without a game win. They do not want to have to try and go home after having such an incredibly, kind of turbulent year, fighting to get back to this spot. They don't want to go home empty-handed. They want to try and make this as best they possibly can, but Blitzcrank is freaking me out. It's just that the animations are just going a bit too fast for me. But we'll jump onto the Rift and we'll see what DFM have in the back pocket. And honestly, I know you were saying about the Alistar, and you're absolutely 100% correct, but I like the chaos that the Blitzcrank can bring. Again, we've always talked about this when we talked about it for Sheo on CFO the other day, where it's like, all it takes is one good hook. All it takes is one moment to kind of, you know, completely blow open a game. And that's what DFM got to look for. If they play passive like they did in game number 1, it's just not going to go anywhere.
I do agree that definitely the Blitzcrank does bring a bit of chaos, but BDS kind of playing that controlled style. Well, already you can see the wards going down to spot Harp out on this potential invade, and actually might be looking for the 2v2 in this bottom bush. You can see they're setting up here, but I don't think they're going to actually find the Blitzcrank as he comes along here.
Not going to find it, not going to make any connections. Of course, you just saw it on your lower screen there. You can connect your League of Legends account with your Prime Gaming to grab the exclusive experimentation emote. We'll see what they're able to kind of go for. And, I mean, right now, I think for DFM, I need more proactivity. They were great in the first game in the bot lane, but then after that, it just kind of did nothing, and Crownie was able to get like 40 CS ahead. So proactivity is the name of the game. I don't want to see them go passively, you know, kind of away from this. Labrov hooked in, but yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you want this fight right now. The Ignite goes in, traded back as well. Harp not using his flash just yet. The Ghost comes out. Yutapon thinking about maybe going aggressive onto this one, and he is going for that one there. 1 or 2 more auto attacks should be enough, and Yutapon gets the first blood. What DFM needed, they to provide.
And now as well, even Steel moving into this bot side wants to try and take a bit of a steal away of the camps here, force Sheo away from this bot end of the map, but nicely done. Burns the Ghost, chases down Labrov, and now Crownie's in a very difficult position as Harp starting to play up once more on that bot side.
Great to see again, like kind of the small little weird moments there that kind of work in DFM's favor, and great to see Steel using that opportunity to go for the steal, like you said, because now he knows he has bot lane priority. He doesn't need to be worried about anyone kind of coming up, and now Harp can sit here in a brush, may look for a flash knock up, swing and a miss, but you miss every shot you don't take.
Yeah, apaMEN taking a couple of shots himself and missing his health bar, but we'll have to see if he's going to be able to try and keep himself in check on this top side. You can see with the way Ivern is path clear, he'll be moving back. He just did his bot side, set them up all up. He's going to move back towards his top side, and there you can see, I think, going to need to help out apaMEN a little bit just to collect this wave, so Adam isn't just taking pop shots at him every single time.
Yeah, he's going to need a little bit of help just to make sure he doesn't find him, you know, halfway up the lane and not able to kind of capitalize. See, apaMEN trying to see if he can maybe go for a little bit of those kind of buckler shades, and I like what he's doing there. He's kind of making sure he has the grasp of the Undying to proc, then throws out the buckler to get a guaranteed bit of HP.
Yeah, I think Adam kind of like, okay, where the hell is Steel? Because you can see the ward that he has on towards the...
Ooh, Aria. Yeah, I don't think he wanted that fight at all. And now Steel, ooh, they miss each other. They literally
have no idea. They didn't see each other at all.
Oh, no! He had no idea that they're coming in now. He's actually looking at it. Oh, Sheo. He's kind of wiggled underneath the tower. And now Steel knows that he's there. Not going to be able to get him away. He failed it over the wall. Sheo can take a fair bit of damage. That's a Red Buff Ivern who will do a fair bit of damage for the moment. Nuke might have to be called in here to save his jungler. Steel, not the biggest of 1v1ers on the Ivern.
Did need to be careful there, Steel, because you actually had push on bot side. You can see them considering moving up, but with the fact that they were behind, they're actually just going to back away and keep themselves safe, not wanting to go too hard as apaMEN!
Oh, apaMEN! He needs to get away from this last auto. Doesn't use his flash, neither does Adam. Inches away from getting the solo kill on the top side, and I mean, look, it's kind of back to basics here for Adam, as we can see Nuke having a much better time of this one here, but now the double knockback, the flash, the auto, the shield! Oh, Steel! Right at the last second coming in clutch for his mid laner, but Aria was definitely looking at a different mid lane than we were.
Yeah, I mean, he went in thinking, oh yeah, I've got this, and then realized real quick, hang on a second, I don't want to be here anymore. Struggling a lot into Nuke, who's been consistently able to manage these Qs, and now Sheo will find Steel.
Yeah, they're going to find themselves now in this one here, but there's a Blitzcrank on there, so they're going to jump in, getting the knock up, and the kill down. Nuke gets nuked down now. They can maybe look to try and get the Tristana off this one. Harp has nowhere to really go. A flash forward from Sheo confirms that kill, a 2-for-1 as BDS were ready. Adam thought about maybe going for that one, but the Graspy Undying proc comes in, and that keeps apaMEN alive for now.
Does mean, though, that Adam, look, he's going to get the reset. He has the TP to get back into lane. apaMEN does as well, but the wave is in a horrible spot for apaMEN, pushing away from him. So Adam could actually... I imagine he will TP back in just to make sure that he can keep this wave in a decent spot. Yeah, there it goes. But he's going to be in a very nice spot. This, though, I mean, I don't know if they knew Harp was there. You can see the question mark ping going down as Harp was starting to roam up. Good sidestep from Nuke, and forcing the flash from Harp, or the knock up from Harp as well. Having Labrov coming into position, and Harp ends up pulling Sheo in on top of him, which actually gives Sheo the ground he needs to follow up. As you look at the picture-in-picture, a good trade onto Yutapon as well, as he will have to be forced back. But Harp still in mid, still has his Hex Flash. Nuke very safe on this one.
Knows he hasn't got a flash, but Hex Flash over the wall. Does he have the hook? He does indeed. They all jump in on top of him, and now Nuke goes down. Sheo just a little too far away to try and help out his mid laner, and DFM starting to get the ball rolling in mid lane.
I mean, Sheo knew that was happening. You could see path up through mid lane to support Nuke in case something went wrong, but they managed to catch him just before he hits the level 6, because if you actually had the level 6 hit there, I think it could have been a very different story where they actually get the turnaround, but not quite able to do so. Now, just been an issue. Sheo just wanted to pick up that at least experience underneath the tower so that doesn't go to waste.
It's good from DFM. They're trying to give a couple of questions to BDS. Yes, BDS are doing well in their jungle and top lane, but for the moment, it's a pretty decent start here for DFM between the mid and the bot. So see if they can convert that into dragons, objectives, things that can make this this game go on a little bit longer. A little bit more shaky for BDS, but for now, Harp has spent not a lot of time on his bot side, and he's going to maybe go for something here. The knock up is not going to land onto the AD carry, but now Harp is in no man's land, and Sheo picks up his 3rd kill of the game. Yeah, I don't think Steel wants anything to do with this, and now, top lane, oh, lovely flash from Adam! apaMEN needs to get between the wall, and they're going to be able to get him out, but the Ivern is not going to be as lucky. Yutapon has just kind of waited for everyone else to walk away so we can try and farm a bit, but BDS getting back on the board.
Yeah, apaMEN had to flash the thick boy, but managed to get over it. But on the bottom side, Nuke was already roaming down. Sylas' ultimate here in mid lane if Aria does go over aggressive, but manages to funnel Steel back into Sheo, and they're able to get another kill. 4-0 for Sheo on this jungle matchup right now. He is going to be so strong when he's targeting Yutapon or Aria in these fights.
That's the thing, when you have something like a Vi getting this far ahead, it just becomes so obnoxious to do it, because you're going to get your items early, you're going to be, ahead of the enemy AD carries or even the mid laner now, and not only that, but then your whole combo could literally kill off a Kai'Sa or Tristana if they get caught.
And it's also just Adam diff as well. I mean, 2 plates going across, and 20 CS lead for himself. He's going to be able to play towards his Rift Tail that's about to spawn. And you can see here, Sheo was like, okay, Nuke, I'm here if anything goes wrong. But just the second he steps away, that's when the team actually steps up on DFM to try and make the play happen. So, a bit unfortunate for Nuke there. And then on the bot side, Labrov tries to get both. Yutapon able to get the speed up to walk away. But you'll see Crownie able to step up nicely with the root, steps up for Sheo, and even look at where Nuke is on the minimap, actually it just disappears, but Nuke in a position there to get Steel where he's caught out, grounded, and taken out by Sheo as well at the back end of this.
Yeah, does try and help out his top bot lane, but that's the thing with the Ivern, he can't really follow up, he has to be there before anything goes down. Now, Sheo maybe going to try and find Yutapon. Around the blue buff. Yeah, he's on the blue buff, so he's actually going to find himself a blue. Yutapon going the very, very long way around, and unfortunately, I think he's going to lose this huge wave as well, because he's not got priority at all. They did just take the Rift Herald on the side of DFM, so they've got that for themselves, but it's going to be hard to try and defend this.
Nuke is reset, though. I don't think they can actually go for the dragon. You can see Sheo wanted to go towards it there and started to power up his Q, but with Aria having pushed in mid, Steel being there, Harp having access to his flash now that's just come back up, I don't think they're able to really push too far forward onto this one. And giving up the Rift Herald, not being able to respond with the Dragon as well, it's a bit of a rough scenario, because now Steel can actually use that with Aria, who's already got some chip damage on the mid lane, get mid priority, rotate down towards the Dragon. Like, this is, at least for the moment, DFM playing well around objectives.
Yeah, and you can see now apaMEN having that Bomby Cinder should be able to keep himself relatively safe in that top side. Still no flash available for either top laner, as they did lose it in that last little skirmish. 4-0 Sheo. He's all the kills right now for BDS. He would have loved if that went onto the Xayah or the Cassiopeia, but now he needs to step up. This is the thing. You can always say if, buts, and maybes about where these things go, but Sheo now has to realize that in the mid-game, he is the carry. Already has the Divine Sunderer so far accelerated, but now they may look for a fight after the Dragon's been taken. BDS looking to be aggressive here. Labrov should be able to kite backwards should he get caught out, and a hop over the wall keeps Aria safe. So no Dragon contest really, as apaMEN just wants to try and reset this wave.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a weird reset, Thomas. Actually, the stun does land onto apaMEN, but the Aria wasn't really in a position to contest mid-wave, so they couldn't quite make the play with Steel of Rift Herald into a potential takeover of River. So not able to set that up means that they can't really be in a position to contest. And now BDS at least get their Dragon stacking, but 10 minutes into the game, BDS, they have a very late scaling composition with the Jax, the Cassiopeia, and also that Xayah, but still, I think trying to hold control would be great.
Oh, you're grounded. You are knocked up. No shield is going to help you, Aria, and that is just really well done there by the side of BDS's mid-jungle just to capitalize on an overextended Aria.
Good read from Sheo as well. Like, you kind of expect Steel to link up with Harp there because Harp hadn't gone for the reset where Yutapon had, so they're trying to make that play happen in mid lane again, but Sheo just managed to tip them to the post, get into mid, get that kill for themselves, get the gold, and again, as long as you can keep this top half the map perfectly fine, there's not really much threat on towards Crownie at this stage to try and go for a dive or anything like that. So Adam just gets to continue being a menace on these sidelines.
See, no stun to come in there from the heroic charge. Not really going to get anything else from it. Not getting the first item there from Nuke. He's kind of going a couple of half items there. Kind of a million different ways of building right now. But once he gets up to those 3 items, they're going to come in so quick.
I'm surprised to see him rush the Rileys. Usually we kind of see the Leandries rush, but the Leandries, then you can finish off your Seraphs and Brace, and it all kind of makes a nice little package before you go Rileys. But in this one, feeling like he really needs to try and slow down Harp and keep people from being able to just chase him down. So we'll see exactly how this one goes, but definitely going to be lacking in damage build as he goes for that utility and health first over some of that damage that Leandries can offer.
Maybe coming out here from Harp as he waits over the wall to try and catch someone a little bit far away. Plenty of dashes available for Rakan though, so it's again slippery customer to try and fully burst down. Does have a silence on the Blitzcrank, so maybe there's an opportunity there. It's both the top lane who's now going for a little bit of a trade. apaMEN kind of coming out the better of the two, despite him being down on a full completed Mythic.
Yeah, the Divine Thunder though will help Adam just heal himself up that little bit as the time goes on. Even just the fact that again he's still picking up the levels that he needs and everything like that. Eventually when you hit 2 items as this Jax, it just becomes so difficult for apaMEN because he just doesn't have the damage to take out the Jax, and Jax pretty much just ignores him as he takes towers. So Adam is going to be a menace in side lanes, and that's where for DFM they were kind of hoping to have a stronger mid lane that could play around, Harp having a bigger impact so they could start that bot lane snowball as well. But without that, this is what we're going to see pretty often, is just Jax taking over in these towers on the side lanes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a repeat of game number 1, unfortunately, for apaMEN. He's just not really set up for success. I don't think we've seen Steel go up there any at all. Like, he just has to accept that he's going to lose gold.
Yeah, he was never really set up to succeed, as we said. Like, he hasn't really played competitively in 2 years. Suddenly had to come back into the team, like 32 years old. The guy's like anyone who has a young child is going to know they don't get to play games. So I can't really blame apaMEN in this one.
Baby apaMEN's at home looking at his dad. His dad's got work to do.
Yeah, apaBab is at home. But
that's so cute.
But it's just a case of like, look, the guy is doing his best, and given the scenario, he is doing a good job to again not die. He will fall behind gracefully, and that's kind of the most you can ask for.
Yeah, I mean, look, DFM are starting to put down some serious pressure in this mid lane, but with Dragon spawning in a minute's time, a lot of pressure around this bot side, around this river, trying to gain some kind of vision control. And you can see that nice little ward nestled in behind the wolves there. That could be an angle for Adam to TP in, or even Nuke to TP in to stop a retreat.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're looking for, especially with Dragon, as he said, coming up. Harp, though, wants to try and find the play.
Oh, hook goes wide. Flash has been used now by Harp. Not the biggest one in the world. Just have the Hex Flash available too. I mean, apaMEN reset, and you can see him now looking to try and just hold against the Demolish proc, and now the tower's gone down. He's going to have to use the ultimate. Knock Jax right up into the air, but that's 2 towers going in. You're going to have a lane economy snapshot presented by MasterCard. I mean, it's 6-6-6 there. It is Freaky Friday for Aria, but I mean, the rest of his lanes just ain't looking so hot.
I really just don't know what he's supposed to try and achieve here. He's trying his best to keep control over Nuke, but with Sheo constantly hovering around, and even with Harp's intervention, it just hasn't been enough to really snowball this lead in the way that Aria was hoping. Now with Rileys completed as well for the Cassiopeia, it becomes very difficult for Harp to try and play hyper far forward, because in theory he wants to just run across the miasma and then look for a hook using the W, but doesn't really have that chance because now with the Rileys. So I'm curious to see exactly what the plan is for Harp. I personally would like to see him go like Boots of Swiftness, because it reduces not only the slow on the miasma, but also yourself slow in your W as well. So it means that you've got an opportunity to then try and play around some of the builds that BDS are coming for, and he's going for the Everfrost, which is quite a lot of gold. So maybe he's just like, look, I don't really care about trying to play around Nuke or mid lane anymore. I just want that utility for the team fights.
DFM want this fight. They are not going to let BDS get a free Dragon again. There could be a hook to come out here. So you see that the Daisy was used as a little bit of a kind of a shield to flash away there, but apaMEN just get grounded a little bit. He's going to use Adam as a little bit of a taxi out, but I don't think he's got any way out at all. Adam finally gets a kill here on his opposite number, and now Sheo goes straight onto steal, but it'll be difficult to finish off this kill. Say that double kill for Adam. As he goes forward onto this, takes a fair bit of damage on the back side of it, but I mean, a 2 for none. BDS, they want to try and put the final nails in the coffin of the LGL.
Yeah, you're going to get to move over towards that second dragon now. They'll pick that one up. DFM trying to respond in mid. Crownie just looking to clear out the wave so they can't get the tower, but it will fall regardless thanks to Aria having that buster shot. But there we go.
They know it's coming. Yutapon is going to walk away from this one, so now it's a 2v3 because you can see Adam just kind of moving around, trying to find somebody to catch out. He's sitting there on a little bit of a ward, trying to make sure he knows no one's going to be able to catch him out. They're not going to be able to get everybody out of this one here. The Blitzcrank goes down next. Labrov just biding his time. There's no tower for Aria. He's in no man's land, and he knows that he's going to maybe try and push towards this tower to maybe get a little bit of damage, but it's going to be all for naught because right now he is between a rock and a hard place, and imagine if Adam had a real weapon.
Yeah, it would not be looking very pretty for apaMEN on that top side, but for BDS it's looking fantastic. 9-3 in kills, a 6,000 gold lead for themselves. They get the kill on top. They nearly considered going for the tier 2 on the bot side, but I'm glad they didn't, simply because it's too many members of DFM that would have been able to collapse on them. But it does mean that if they're going to lean bot, Adam kind of overextended top lane, but just looks to push the wave and back on out of there.
Yeah, and there's no real vision either for the side of DFM on that top side, as they had just committed so much to the bot lane, so they weren't really maybe comfortable going for it. So many if, buts, and maybes and questions for DFM, but I mean, looking across the scoreboard right now, 3-0-1 for Adam, 4-0-3 here for Sheo. He has stepped up today, and yes, Nuke was a little bit of a kind of target, if you will, for the side of DFM in the early stages, but it doesn't matter. The man has 2.5 items, fully stacked here, feeling fine.
At this stage, it's so difficult for DFM to pull this back, and again, not being able to fall back to the team fight makes this very difficult. As long as BDS are playing the way they are, it's going to be great. And I mean, Observer
gets hooked, gets into the feathers and flashes away. Aria was there available. Oh, the roots come down! Crownie goes down, but he takes two with him in a 2v1. Crownie stands tall, and the rest of his team know they can go full tilt on that top side. I mean, we're only 18 minutes into the game. You wanted a confident game from BDS. They're knocking on the doors.
I mean, the fact you've already got the tier 2 and top down before you get the mid tier 1 down says exactly how this game has gone for DFM. Now you put down the Rift out of mid. Sheo hops over the wall, says fantastic, we'll take another one as we make our way out of here. I like that DFM are attempting to make the plays. They're not going to go quietly, but unfortunately Crownie's a little bit louder than they are.
Yeah, Crownie was saying, all right, look, you know what, you're going to take me down, but I'm going to take you with me. That's just kind of how this one's going. But I mean, it is those little things. I feel like Harp needed to be slightly faster on the silence, because you can see it right here. There's a split second where Crownie gets to be able to use his ultimate, and that's the difference. Harp needed to hit the silence.
So actually, I think this is a result of the Blitzcrank nerfs. I'm not going to like say I'm a pro in understanding clarity, but I've noticed more. Blitzcrank got nerfed in the attack speed for the jungle, and I actually think it's now affected his ability to ease someone before they get that opportunity. So I've noticed more when I'm playing Blitz, people have opportunities to like flash away or use key ultimates, and that's why I think we've actually started to see a couple of Blitzcranks go for the opposite way around, as you say, where you hook, immediately silence, then go for the punch, rather than what used to be the reverse combo. So it's been a bit interesting to see, but win probability powered by AWS is kind of telling a lot of a story here.
I was trying to zoom in on my own self there just to see like how, enhance, zoom and enhance. It's like, is that 100%? Because that's literally not possible in the game of League of Legends, but I think it was 99.9 or something. It was almost 100%, but yeah.
NCI BDS is on the case.
Yes. Yeah. Zoom, enhance, and increase the quality of the picture somehow.
It's not magic, it's film.
Yes. Everything's entertainment. But, I mean, look, entertaining for LEC fans right now. BDS feeling an awful lot more confident. And honestly, it's kind of been them just capitalizing on DFM's mistakes. And yes, like you said, DFM, it's great to see them going for things. But BDS have had the answers. Like, BDS have always been ready so far this game to kind of go for it. Yes, they got caught out maybe once, but it's going to be a 20-minute spawn. I mean, you can go for it. Look at your items.
This is a shotgun bar. This is how we're just going to do it. BDS, this is the confidence that we want to see. Adam has complete control over his bot side. They're going to shred this thing. I would have preferred Nuke being in the pit at the moment, but looks like they might still try and turn for the fight. It's now spotted by DFM.
Here we go. They're going to try and make this one work with the quickness, but it's just a delay right now. Labrov should be able to back away from this one. Baron secured. 100% no way of stealing that one whatsoever. Now Nuke trying to move in, just getting bonked back by the Justice Hammer. We're going to see apaMEN flash away and keep himself alive, but I mean, getting out of here with people is going to be good for DFM because they're not the ones winning this fight. They're the ones falling behind.
Sheo's way overextended though.
Oh, I can't get him there because they've got a Chem Rift, get themselves a nice little extra bit of movement off of those blast cones. And now, how do you defend this right now? You're going to have to try and go so far extended with your AD carries. And I mean, I don't know how you're going to try and move forward.
Yeah, I think at this stage, it might be BDS who are just going to back away. They're looking towards that bot tier 2. Wave is a little bit far out for them. I think they might need to just go and take a quick reset here because, I mean, you picked up a lot of gold coming through from the Baron. They've actually been on the map for a little bit of time, so it may just be a case of try to threaten the tier 2 on bot side as Adam goes to the top side play as well.
Yeah, look, you got 2 items now onto Aria. You're going to need the equivalent of a Lee Sin flash kick from Aria's Tristana. Jump over, put someone within turret range, maybe hook somebody else. It's not just one hook you need. You need multiple things to go well. And Adam, with the W, just ignore Aria right now and just gonna go, cool. Like, I'll go back. I'll be back in the next wave. 30 seconds, see you again.
Labrov off inside though, you can see hasn't been spotted thanks to that control ward, so maybe they're looking at trying to make a play, but again, the waves are a little bit messy for BDS at the moment. Like, Adam collapsed his, so you have Arias able to deal with that. Now Sheo collapses mid. BDS are going to move over here. Harp.
Oh, there's a good hook, and they'll jump immediately down onto Sheo. Sheo will fall down, but the feathers have already been laid down to trade back a 1-for-1. I mean, that's all DFM can really hope for, but I mean, they're losing so much tag that it's so hard to see them kind of, again, it feels like a loss, even though it's technically a win.
Yeah. I mean, the Dragon is going to be up and available for them as well, so even without a jungler, I don't think DFM can really do particularly much. They're stuck in their own base. The BDS immediately turn over to that. That's 3 Dragons, a nearly 3,000 gold Red Bull Baron power play, and the base in shambles. Like, DFM, they're just going to be slowly but surely pushed in once more. And even when they find the good hook here, to try and take down the Vi, there's just too much damage to immediately follow up on it.
Yeah, you can see just how long it takes them to kill off Sheo. To be honest with you, they nearly don't kill him at the end as well. Just about goes down to the W of Aria, and of course the turret shot as well, but it's got an awful lot. Now 11,000 gold are just below us. Looking at a Chem Soul coming up now in about 4.5 minutes. Baron will run out in 30 seconds, but Nuke's 3 items. You've got 3 items onto Crownie. You're looking at a 3-0-2 Jax who's building up towards a Zhonya's.
It's not the 3 items that's giving me confidence that BDS are happy. It's the Sorcerer's Elixir that is in the hands of Nuke that's just like, we end on next push. That is all. I'm not going for another item. We end now, we finish it. And DFM, they kind of know it. They're very quickly trying to see if they can find a pick, find something to slow this down, because Adam is knocking on the base and there's no DFM at home.
No one's at home, and once they know you're not there, they will break down your doors, and this is where the game starts to just become about the min-maxing. Is really, if you're BDS, you're slow, you're steady, you're confident, you don't need to overforce anything. On DFM, you're hoping for a miracle right now. I know it's Freaky Friday, but they need something strange and wonderful to happen for them because they're just so far behind. I mean, it literally, I don't like saying this a lot of times because it does feel disingenuous sometimes, but right now, it's a mistake needs to happen for them. If BDS just kind of dot their I's, cross their T's, there's not really a lot of opportunities for DFM.
It's not even a singular mistake. It's the
multiple.
Yeah, and again, you need, like, you still got top tier 1 and bot tier 1 that's up. You can try and threaten like a tier 2, but does that really give you the opportunity to get enough gold to threaten in 3 minutes time? This Chemtech Soul that's going to be coming up again. Chemtech Soul isn't the end of the world, but it just makes it so much more difficult to actually deal with BDS, who you're already struggling to find the picks in the burst for. Labrov, just hop over the wall if he really needs to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he doesn't even, he can wait, get hooked, and then just go away. Yeah, just go away. So he can actually use the Blitzcrank as a delivery system for the quickness as well. That's the scarier part. So right now, the Blitzcrank hook, not as scary for certain members of BDS. I'm looking at the likes of the Jax, the Vi, and of course the Rakan, but right now, BDS very slow and steady. They're going to wait. There's going to be a Dragon in 2.5. There's a Baron in 1.5. They do not have to rush this. Again, it's an elimination match. They need to make sure everything is perfect.
Again, BDS though, like, this is a fantastic performance from them, and a significantly better one than I think people were expecting from them when they kind of crumbled the last day. But a win here, again, would set them up brilliantly. Set them up against CFO, a potential to kind of right the wrongs as to what happened to them previously and see if they can get that win over the PCS. And then find themselves up against up against, find themselves in that qualification series. But it's not just this series they have to perform in. It is going to be that series against CFO again to just get into the qualification series.
Yeah, and we'll see Gam against Loud tomorrow. BDS most likely going up against CFO. TP all the way back. This is your Hail Mary. This is your last moment, DFM. Your World Championship relies on this. That's a good pick. Now it's a 4v5. Adam and apaMEN now here. He jumps in on top of Nuke, gets the knockup, but they can't move forward just yet. They know the Petrifying Gaze is something so dangerous to move forward in. There's the redemption to try and keep him in. Big hook, big kill, shut down. Now DFM, you get any more? They're going to look for the hop forward. Aria moves over, flash by Adam. Shuts down everything. Double kill. Yutapon trying to kite back as best he can. A great hook there. Puts Sheo underneath the tower. He flashes away. It's a 3v3, but you still favor BDS.
Yeah, I mean, they get the kills, the response kills, they get the tower, the inhibitor, they're going to be able to back away. It's a beautiful fight from DFM, but it comes that little bit too late to really be capitalized on.
Let's have a look at this one here, because it's a huge flank. And again, it's Labrov going a little bit too far forward.
Yeah, great hook from Harp. The burst damage is there with Yutapon to take him out entirely. And then BDS with the flank coming through from apaMEN. You can see the immediate ult from Crownie thinking apaMEN was going for him. But he actually went for Nuke, so baits out the ult from Crownie. And then, yes, you get the pullback to keep apaMEN at bay. But a great hook again from Harp onto Nuke. And at this stage, it's like, you just need to call it quits there. But Aria sees blood in the water, but didn't realize it was DFM blood, and ends up giving it across to BDS with a kill back. If Yutapon had fallen, that would have been game right there. But the fact he doesn't means that BDS have to respect Yutapon and back away and come back to fight another day.
Come back to fight indeed. Crownie just using everything within his disposal. And it was a fight between the AD carries there. Yutapon versus Crownie in our Mercedes featured matchup, and honestly right there and then it could have been the game. Now we go back onto the Baron. They know it's being started, they know it's being done, they have to fight this, they can't let this go down.
Harp, who can he get the hook on?
Go. Labrov looking for the quickness. He does get silenced straight away. They're not going to be able to stop Adam from moving in on top of apaMEN, and the Blitzcrank is dead. Turned to scrap. Adam moves forward, gets bonked back, but it's a double kill for Crownie. He wants to join the 80 carries that have picked up the pentakill today. Triple kill for Crownie as he looks for a little bit more. We'll have the fruit to try and keep him going this one. Aria moving forward, trying to do something here. Yutapon, quadra kill for Crownie, and they'll give it to him. Pentakill for Crownie, and BDS will stay alive in the world's play-ins.
The Pentas of play-ins are popping off. BDS find the kills, they find the win over DFM, and they find themselves a date with CFO in just a matter of days.
We are getting spoiled right now by the AD carry performances as everyone gets a pentakill. You get a pentakill, you get one. But BDS, they know that is only one step in the job they have to do. They still have 2 more matches to play if they want to get to the main stage.
Back in the LPL, we used to call you Penta Penguin, and it's good to see, even with the name change, Oshin is still living up to pentakills galore every time this man casts.
It's fun. It's a fun superpower to have. As a play-by-play, probably the best superpower to have. But my God, BDS, they took it slow, they took it steady, they made sure they dotted their I's, they crossed their T's, and they were clinical in how they wanted to take that fight. And Crownie really stepped up and giving him something he can have agency on, not on the Ezreal like we saw against Team Wales, on the Xayah, constantly looking like he wanted to be aggressive.
Yeah, incredible performance from Crownie on the day. And honestly, from the rest of the team as well, Adam manhandle apaMEN.
Yeah.
And I think this was kind of the matchup that a lot of people were looking at going, this is going to be the issue for DFM, and we kind of got to see it as well. Adam with the 2 big thumbs up, 2 big games from him, sets up a very difficult position then for DFM to come back from. And at BDS, that was exactly what we want to see from them in play.
Absolutely, and look, that's what not even what we wanted to see, what they needed to do. There needed to be no question about them going into the next round. Of course, for DFM, commiserations to them. They will unfortunately bow out. The LGL is now out of Worlds 2023. It's been a rough year. They made it to Worlds, they made it to MSI. Definitely feel like there's going to be a bit of a bittersweet moment. You like making it to the international stage, but you want to show more than you did today. And yeah, Crownie having a bit of fun there. definitely looking to see how they move forward. But for BDS, they still have jobs to do. They still have a best of 3 tomorrow, and if they win that, then a best of 5 on Sunday. There's still plenty more League of Legends for them to play.
Yeah, and going up against Flying Oysters as well is no easy feat. This team has actually been very, very strong and has been looking great. Sheo and Shun have been a dominating factor on that bottom side of the map, so we'll have to see if Crownie and Labrov can deal with that. Coming back to it though, again, kind of commiserations to DFM. It's sad to see them bow out. I think DFM has kind of started to gain a bit of an international fandom.
Oh, love for them, yeah.
Yeah, and it's been unfortunate with the year and the summer that they've had, that now kind of seeing that come into Worlds as well, they just haven't been able to find their footing in the manner they need to, and now find themselves going out very swiftly. But BDS, a team that people are hoping won't follow them in the next couple of days.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, is that this is confident from BDS, but definitely still a bit shaky after Team Wales' performance. Even Quickshot was putting a little bit of caveat after that first game, being like, we'll see what happens. But Team BDS stay alive here at Worlds 2023. And to recap the day, let's send it over to Quickshot and Worlds Cooldown.
Can you blame me, Oshin? I need to add that caveat. I saw what happened in their last best of series. Today, however, no real challengers stood in front of Team BDS. DetonatioN FocusMe were unable to put together a composition or a play style that could keep them at bay. Pretty clean 2-0. From the get-go, that first blood on Blitzcrank, a little bit surprising, but from there on, BDS just kind of steamrolled DFM.
Yeah, I think there's like a couple of ganks around the mid lane that DFM were trying to play an earlier style of game. They were trying to punish around mid, like even with their Tristana pick. That was a bit of a surprise in draft, but gives you very strong fighting. But yeah, ultimately, they still got outpaced on the Dragons. A lot of those mid-game fights just didn't go their way, and I think we continue to see sort of difficulties on the coordination front.
Yeah, DFM has some things that hopefully they can improve on, but for BDS, I was largely pretty happy. Like, there was very clean gameplay.
Sound a little surprised there?
Well, I mean, I think the concern is when you get hit back, because that's what you were kind of saying, and I agree with, was in Game 2, they were doing very well. They lose that bear, and then they just totally ease off the gas. So if it's a problem of once you have a plan until you get hit, that like Mike Tyson quote, and then they didn't really get punched back at all this series. They were able to control it from basically level 1 onward.
And it's very important because I know Gulpog is talking extensively about this. After BDS's winning streak came to an end, as a team, it took them a long time to find their groove. They struggled to bounce back. So after a very heavy-handed defeat, I am glad to see them come back and pick up where they should have.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool to see them also continuing to kind of develop their own playstyle and showing more standard picks this time around, not needing to tilt their hand at all. Everyone's looking for the rest of the gods lineup, but also just like slam Jax. He's good, and it was nice to see Adam just play that pick very well, even though they got the counter pick coming in with the Poppy, that he was still able to control that matchup and threaten solo kills over and over again. And then the team coordination was a big step up as well.
Yeah, the team fighting. Crownie gets a penta, and this is what I wanted to see, right? Instead of the Ezreal take a team fighting, very powerful front-to-back AD carry, Crownie plays this fight very nicely. He almost dies. Aria pumps out so much damage, but it delivers him straight in to that turbocharged honey fruits. Then he turns it around, gets those kills. The rest of the team, good guys, lets him get the last hits onto Aria for the second pentakill of the day.
And the third of the playing stage thus far.
3+ eating good.
I wonder how many we're going to get throughout the rest of the tournament. If we're already at 3 on, what, day 4 of
Watch
play-ins?
it be none, by the way.
We just get everything out of the way immediately and not see any more. I'm hopeful that won't be the case, but another monumental Gold League growth. First 10 or so minutes, pretty slow, pretty steady, and then it's BDS just flying away.
Ultimately, today, BDS played very uncomplicated, clean League of Legends and got the win. I still don't want to like fully overhype them off of this because I don't think they were fully challenged, especially in the mid game and in the team fights. So I want to hold back some reservations. I don't want everyone to sort of like get too ahead of ourselves going forward. But I do think this team much better than the one we saw a couple of days ago, and still very much with a chance to move on.
I also like the fact that they have their baseline play style, which will force teams to make action happen around them. And I think it does make Team Wales even look better to be like, they can play into a comp and play styles like this and actually still get things done and push them and things like that. And it will put pressure on CFO tomorrow to find ways to do that. And CFO sometimes can be more aggressive with their bot lane plays, but when that doesn't work, if they're not being able to find things in the mid game, it does look pretty good for BDS to just take this scaling composition.
100%, especially the comps that want to play back in team fights. I think those are the ones that are much easier to execute on, but also give you a much clearer game plan. Like in the second game, like they're looking to dive in with the Vi with Jack, some ideas like that. But back in game 1, like Braum, Xayah plus Ivern, if you are at even or even slightly ahead, you are just going to win the game if you're the first 2 objectives. That's the style I want to see them move forward with, because I think on a fundamental level in the team fights, they are better better than a lot of teams in play-ins, but they have to draft and play around that.
I think it's also fair to say they have had pretty good Dragon control over the course of the games that we have seen thus far. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. For now, let's head into Seoul, where Law is standing by with Sheo.
And we're back here in Seoul after day 4 of playing here at Worlds 2023, and I'm here with Sheo.
Hello.
2-0 against DetonatioN FocusMe today, better than last time, but we'll touch on this a bit later. I think this result was expected from you guys, but still, what do you think of the way you guys played today? Are you happy?
I think we played pretty well still,
Yeah.
even if the opponents are like not the best. But we played our game, we were confident in game, so I think we showed a decent BDS today.
What was the goal coming in today after what happened last time?
Not lose the game, I think, to show that we can play really well and just stomp the opponents. So I think that was the goal today.
Okay, sorry to bring back bad memories, but I have to talk about what happened last time, especially given the way you guys stomped them in game 1. What happened game 2, game 3? Because it reminded me of what happened for you guys at the beginning of summer with the way you played disjointed in a way. Can you talk me through what happened that game?
I think on game 2, for example, the draft was not the best. We could optimize the draft, and then I think we played like everyone poorly mechanically. And then if we fail some skirmish that we should win, the game is a bit hard. And for game 3, I think maybe we were kind of tilted, not in the game anymore. So I think that's why we lost 2 days ago.
How did you guys reflect on that loss? What was the feedback after this from the coaching staff and also from the rest of the players?
I mean, we said that we had a bad day, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a bad day can happen, and we just need to be in shape together, play as a team. If we are sharp mechanically, I think we are a good team for planes at least. So we just need to be confident and play our game.
The main issue is that you don't have a lot of games to get back in shape, to get back for the confidence. So moving on to the next game, you're going to play against CFO. What is your resolution for this game, Sheo?
I mean, I don't really know them, so I'm just looking like to go to main stage, right? So I take game by game and I just do my best and everyone does his best and we will win.
All right. Hopefully you have a good time to study this opponent, but talking a bit more about you. First Worlds, your brothers are still here as well. What do you want to prove here at Worlds in Korea, and how happy are you about having your family here as well?
I mean, I'm really happy to go to Worlds for the first year in LEC, and like my whole family is supporting me, so it's just a pleasure to play here. My brother came to Korea as well, so it's just fantastic to play, and they watch me. So I'm pretty happy, and now I just want to go the further as I can to Worlds and show that still I'm a rookie, but I can play really well in game. I
know that Adam is the only player who had a World participation. Any words of wisdom that he was able to share to get you guys ready?
I didn't say much, I guess, but we are all pretty confident at least, and we'll just make it.
Well, best of luck in the next match. Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
And back to you guys in Dublin.
Thank you so much, Law and Sheo, for the Verizon post-game interview. The resolution that I take away, losing equals defeat. Thank you, Asheen, for that one. Obviously, some humble words there from Sheo. Trying to make it far. The team wasn't on the same page. I think acknowledging some of the individual as well as team-based mistakes. But I, for one, am glad to see them bounce back. It was only 2 days. There's still a lot of pressure despite DFM. I think it just gets harder from here when you look at the rest of the bracket.
Well, I think it's also cool that you have this kind of like old school kind of feel to the tournament where it's like, yeah, I don't really know what they do for CFO yet because we weren't supposed to play them, and now we're playing them, and we got to like do our research and try and run this bracket. And I think it's really cool that you have these days after days after days and how quickly you can get on top of it.
Yeah, it's different because if you were going to a group stage, you'd sort of do more spread out general prep on like 3 or 4 teams.
3 teams that you're going to play over and over again.
And now it's like, oh, you have 1 day in between, or I guess just an evening. Let's like cram some VODs, you know, just absolutely go nuts because it really is a tournament format. But I think I'm happy, at least personally, to hear like similar reads, like in terms of like the draft or how we played around objectives, the coordination, those ideas. And it's like, okay, BDS are recognizing that, and clearly they did, and they fixed a lot of those problems today. That gives me a lot more faith moving forward.
Before we talk about tomorrow and the matchups we're going to see, I want to take a minute or two just to say goodbye to R7 as well as DFM. Both teams have been eliminated from Worlds 2023, and they're the first 2 teams that we are saying goodbye to. I think for both squads, a very tough day at the office. Both squads losing 0-2, and especially I think for Audi and for R7, after winning at MSI, after coming in firing those shots, which I applaud and I respect, please don't ever stop doing that, they got crushed by GAM.
Yeah, I think for DFM, there was a lot of problems in the summer split. You can kind of see that this would be a tough tournament for them.
It was an uphill battle from the start.
Yeah, but for R7, even though I'm sure Audie's embellishing a little bit for the sake of the camera, that, oh, yeah, we're going to smash these guys, the VCS is not good. I think there's a kernel of truth there where you really do think that you are the better team and you're expecting to win. To get beaten down pretty hard in those 2 games, it's probably a pretty tough pill to swallow.
Especially in the way a lot of the misplays ended up happening, where it was R7 like really overcommitting into dives. It gets turned back around on them. So it looked like in the server, they had that vibes going, you know, they felt really good.
We're going to style on these kids.
We're going to kill them. We're going to go under the tier 2 tower. Oh no, they've all rotated. We're all falling. So it is, to me, I prefer to see that style of game as opposed to, you know, the quiet, you know, we wait till 30 minutes and we've lost everything. So they go out with a bit of flair, but out all the same.
Double-edged sword, though, right? Because that level of aggression gets bounced back if you don't manage to pick those things up. So those are the first 2 teams we say goodbye to, R7 and DFM. I do want to take a look at tomorrow's matches very quickly, because, of course, there's 2 more best-of-3s before we get to those best-of-5 qualification matches. We'll have BDS taking on the Flying Oysters, as well as Loud taking on GAM. Give me some quick thoughts on these 2 respective teams. I believe we may actually have an interview with GAM lined up after that. But where are you expecting? I see some tense pursing there, Mark. What are you making of the matchups?
The screen.
Okay, Loud GAM versus CFO BDS. And also, I'll tell you, between BDS and Flying Oysters, they will then, whoever wins that goes on to face PSG. Between GAM and Loud, they go on to face Team Wales.
I'm personally, no offense, BDS. I know a bit more home crowd for this audience, but the Loud/GAM rematch is something I'm really excited for, because GAM kind of got smoked in that series, and it was very surprising to see. They've been struggling a little bit, but then they seem to find their footing more against Rainbow 7 today. So hopefully that's a chance for GAM to continue that momentum into tomorrow and kind of retain some of that glory that Levi used to have in the squad for being this really crazy aggressive team.
Yeah, I really hope we continue to see a little bit more proactivity from Levi. I think in both the series so far, there's been some, but a lot of it has been more reactive play in the early game, because that one could absolutely turn into a bloodbath. I honestly don't feel confident predicting either series. I'll say I think that tomorrow has potential to be like a 3-gamer both ways.
Do you know what I love both ways?
GAM 2-0, BDS 2-0. You just slap your prediction out
that's
there.
Bold, that's bold. Well, I want to unpack that in a minute. Let's quickly hear, after their win early today, Lo had the opportunity to talk to GAM's Levi. So let's check it out in the Verizon post-game interview.
And we're back in Seoul for day 4 of the playing stage here at Worlds 2023. And GAM finally came back and took the revenge against R7 when they lost against them at MSI. And I'm here with Levi to talk about this victory. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a different result as MSI, but you also changed bot lane. How did this shape the dynamic of the team differently?
Thì lần xuất hiện này ở chung kết thế giới thì tụi em đã có một cái sự thay đổi ở cặp đường dưới. Thì cái việc thay đổi đường dưới này nó đã ảnh hưởng thế nào cho đến cái chiến thuật hay là lối chơi của team em?
Đầu tiên thì bọn em nghĩ là ở cái giải mùa hè thì bọn em đã có một chút khó khăn khi mà phải thay đổi người chơi, và đặc biệt là Palette, thậm chí Palette chỉ đăng ký đến trận cuối cùng của giải VCS, cho nên là bọn em đã mất rất là nhiều thời gian để có thể giúp cho đồng đội phối hợp với nhau tốt hơn. Thì em nghĩ là bọn em đang có những người chơi tốt, cho nên là bọn em có thể giành chiến thắng trước Rainbow 7.
I think first of all, I think that we had a bit of difficulties getting the new player in this summer split, because it was only until the last game of our summer split that Palette has joined. So there was a bit of trouble getting used to the team there. But after all, I think what I have right now are good teammates, and that's how I got this victory.
And it showed today clearly the team is performing so much better. But when I think of you, Levi, your experience goes beyond the VCS. You're one of the most veteran players we have in the league. And regardless of failures or success, what did the experience you got outside of the VCS shaped you as a better player and teammate?
Thì Levi, em là một người chơi đã có kinh nghiệm trải dài khắp các châu lục á. Em đã thi đấu ở các khu vực khác nhau. Thì em nghĩ là cái kinh nghiệm thi đấu của em ở những cái khu vực khác nó có giúp cho em trở thành một cái tuyển thủ tốt hơn ở khu vực của mình không?
Có. Đầu tiên là mình nghĩ là những cái kinh nghiệm của mình khi mà đi thi đấu ở những cái đấu trường quốc tế thì mình được nhìn thấy những tuyển thủ ở một cái đẳng cấp có thể nói là cao hơn, và mình nhìn thấy họ nỗ lực luyện tập rất là nhiều, và thậm chí là họ đã ở một đẳng cấp rất là cao rồi mà họ còn nỗ lực nhiều hơn mình nữa. Thì đấy là cái điều mà mình nghĩ rằng là mình sẽ gọi là sau khi về Việt Nam thì mình cũng cố gắng nhiều hơn nữa để có thể gọi là học tập và tiến gần tới họ.
Yes, as I've played in international stage, I have witnessed players that have already reached the top, but yet never stopped trying and never stopped practicing. And I really admire that from them, and I learned a lot from them. That's what I got back to Vietnam.
And using this experience, how do you get the revenge against Loud later this week?
Vậy với những kinh nghiệm này thì em có thể trả thù Loud ở trong cuối tuần này không?
Mình nghĩ là khi mà đội mình đã tự tin rồi thì đối thủ nào đội mình cũng có thể đánh bại hết.
I think once we've got the confidence, we're not afraid of anyone.
Well, let's hope you bring this confidence for the match. Cameron, thank you so much for the
thank you so
interview.
much.
And Kwai, thank you so much for the translation, as always. And you guys in Dublin, back to you.
Thank you so much. Well, fantastic interviews. I mean, Levi is focused on the task at hand. If they manage to take down Loud, it will be a VCS versus VCS best of 5 to determine which team joins the Swiss.
Who's the
other
real
side
first seed
of the bracket? If Flying Oysters take down BDS, it will be a PCS versus PCS to get into the best of 5. I know where his predictions are. I need to know yours, Endo. Where are you going? Who's winning tomorrow?
Yeah, you know, I can get behind the double rematch.
Double rematch.
You want the double finals again?
Yeah,
Ender
let's just replay the finals.
Signed the death warrant of BDS, and I hate to say it, but I think I'm behind it either. I'm kind of happy with any of the results tomorrow.
That was the most lukewarm prediction I've ever
exciting. Listen, if you've
happen tomorrow.
That's it. We're going to say goodnight. We're going to say goodbye. I want to leave it on that bombshell that Ender's saying goodbye, BDS. If you missed any of the action today, the rebroadcast begins later at 12 p.m. PDT. That's 9 p.m. Central European Summertime on lolesports.com. We will be back tomorrow to say farewell to 2 more teams as World's Play-Ins continues. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you then. Good night, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is. Thank you for watching. Flip those burgers. Let's flip those burgers with a hot grill.
Chains knockup is good. They're getting the damage down. There's a good red buff there as well. Flash forward, another flash. The red buff is ticking. Miryu does pick up that kill.
In a flash. I'm the one.
Nice.
Nice.
As you can see, Miryu finally coming in, steals away the quickness, trying to jump in here on top of the tanks. You got Levi going down first. There's a good needlework here. Good scatter the weak, though. Gings them all right back into the hands of the Xayah. Audi is dead. They're going to try to get in with a flashbang and storm. Ooh, that was good damage, though, coming in from Bong, but it's just too little too late. Triple kill comes in here for Levi.
Wants to try and get the knockback. Oh, here we go.
He used his ultimate there to try and maybe move away. He's getting some decent movement from it. Levi, the flash kick there, gets him underneath the tower. The last shot shall kill him off. And finally, R7 are rewarded for their efforts. Maybe he wants a little bit more. They're going to try and get Sheo on this backside, trying to do his best he possibly can. There's Levi moving forward. It's a triple kill here for Slater. It's a quadra kill for Slater. Penta kill for Slater. Between everybody and the creeping CC. They're going to be able to take down Harp. Crownie has to go straight away into the feathers flying.
Coming around. I have a good flank on them. They use TP.
Good marker.
I'm keeping okay. We can finish. Check on my A.
No, just fight, I think, first.
Now Nuke comes in from the flank. They jump onto Yutapon. apaMEN just kind of trying to stand forward, and it's doing work on the front lines. Yeah, they're going to find themselves now in this one here, but there's a Blitzcrank on there, so they're jumping, getting the knock off and the kill down. Nuke gets nuked down. Now they can maybe look to try and get a Tristana off this one. Harp has nowhere to really go. A flash forward from Sheo.
I think trying to hold control would be great.
Oh, you're grounded. You are knocked up. No shield is going to help you, Aria. Looks for a little bit more. We'll have the fruit to try and keep him going this one. Aria moving forward, trying to do something here. Yutapon, quadra kill for Crownie, and they'll give it to him. Penta kill for Crownie, and BDS will stay alive in the World's Play-Ins.
Once you play God, once you play God.
Go deep, turn it up, volume keep up. Burn it up, hot tank up, deep, turn it up, volume keep up.